it's Moose and thank you so much for joining me back here. Today we're going to do a video all about some of my favorite series. I have a mixture of stuff. Most of it is either fantasy or romance just because that's predominantly what I read. But I do also have some middle grade in here, anywhere from middle grade to adult. So today we're going to talk about some of my favorite series. If you're not new to my channel, these probably won't be a surprise to you. But I thought it would be a fun video all the same. My daughter's here talking with us. So, I actually have quite a few series here piled up around me, and most of them people might know. So if they're fairly popular, I probably won't go into as much detail, but let's get into it. This is one that I'm not going to go into much detail. We have Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling, one of my faves. I have my Hufflepuff shirt on today. It is nice and chilly here today. It's perfect weather. I took the kids on a walk earlier, didn't sweat. It was great. But Harry Potter, one of my favorites. I'm itching to reread them. I just started I just started listening to the first one on audiobook. I've never listened to them on audiobook before, so this will be new for me. Half-Blood Prince is my favorite. I'm excited to get to it. I'm just going to sail on my staple favorites first, I guess. Next up, we have Twilight by Stephenie Meyer. Love it. This is my guilty pleasure read. I probably read them about once a year, and I'm itching to do it again right now. Midnight Sun is my favorite. Love it. I always enjoy the male perspective in any kind of romantic situation, so I love that we get Edwards. Yeah, this came out when I was in like middle school, early high school, my very formative years, and I will always love it. The same will be said for this one as well. We have The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. Again, love them. I don't reread these quite as much as Harry Potter or Twilight for some reason. I guess just because they're not heavy reads, but they're also not like fun reads, I guess. They don't give you like feel-good feelings, if that makes sense. The story is super good, but it's not like a happy story. So I guess I don't read them as much for that reason, but they're some of my favorites. Again, very formative years in my life that I read these the first time, and will always be some of my favorites. Next up, I have some Sarah J Maas. I have two series by her. I'll explain in a second. First up, I have Throne of Glass. No, not Throne of Glass. I have A Court of Thorns and Roses. Let me face them the right way. A Court of Thorns and Roses. Is this the right way? No, I had it right the first time. Right? Okay, yeah, this way. The like reversed camera always messes with me a little bit. Okay, A Court of Thorns and Roses, Sarah J Maas. First one is supposed to be a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I've had people say that, yeah, it follows really closely. Personally, I don't really think so. Overall, though, one of my favorite series. I reread these about once a year as well. I've already reread them this year. I didn't read A Court of Silver Flames, and I don't own that one. I do own the novella, but the main three are my favorites. And they're the ones I wanted to mention in this video. Again, fantasy, romantic fantasy, I guess. New adult. Great. I'm going to go ahead and get the other Sarah J Maas series out of the way that I have. I have Crescent City by Sarah J Maas. We have House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath. I did reading vlogs on both of these. If you're interested in more in-depth thoughts. Blew me away. Blew me away. I get giddy just thinking about it. You can probably see it on my face. I can't wait for the next one. One of my favorites. This one might be my favorite series by her. I just finished Throne of Glass today, and I did enjoy it. But I don't know that it's one of my favorite series, so I'm not including it on this list. But ACOTAR, Court of Thorns and Roses, and this one for sure. Some of my faves. If you're not new to my channel, you've probably heard me mention these before. Next up, I have Becca Cooper by Tamora Pierce, the Becca Cooper trilogy. Again, I did a video on this if you want to go check it out. Excellent. This one is more of like a YA fantasy mystery type thing. Our main character, Becca, is basically like a detective guard type person and is tasked with figuring out different cases. I think the first one, the people in my neighborhood are being loud. I think the first one deals with a murder, if I remember. The second one is like a like a money laundering scheme, and the third one is a kidnapping, I think. So she's like a detective to figure out this stuff, but in a fantasy type world. It's definitely fantasy all the way. It's not urban fantasy at all. I like the magic system in this. It's a little different than anything I've read before. One of my favorites. Again, I did a video on it. It's so good. I want to reread them. Next up, I have, if you were on my channel when I first read these, you're probably tired of hearing about them from me by now. Next up, I have The Burning by Evan Winter. This is an adult fantasy series with not a whole lot of romance in it, which is different than what I read. I usually like for my stuff to have a little bit of romance in it. There's very, very little in this. That's not the focus at all, and it was great. I loved it. I didn't make my husband read them, but I kind of told my husband, like, hey, you would probably enjoy these. And so he read them, and now he bought his own copies for his own shelf. So our household has 2 different copies of these books because they are that good. So good. What can I say that won't spoil this? We have our main character, Tao. It's a revenge fantasy, basically. Something happens in his childhood. He kind of dedicates his life to taking revenge for that thing. And he basically becomes very powerful, even though he's supposed to be low in the totem pole. This world has different caste systems, and he is of a lower caste who are not supposed to be as strong or as powerful or as influential. And you can maybe guess what happens a little bit. So good. I can't wait for the next one. I don't know when it's supposed to come out. I'll probably reread these before it comes out. I can't say enough good things about this. If you like fantasy, if you like adult fantasy with dragons and war, there's a lot of fighting scenes. It's kind of gruesome a little bit. If that's your jive, pick these up. Some of my favorites. Next up, I have The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I read these as an adult, so I was looking through my bookshelf and I was like, should I add that to this list? And I think that yes, which I think says something about these stories, because I feel like a lot of people love these for a nostalgia factor. I don't have that. The only like nostalgia factor I have concerning these is I had the PS2 video game, the PlayStation 2 video game of The Chronicles of Narnia growing up and loved it. But as far as the story, the books themselves go, I don't have that factor attached to it, but they are still great. When I read them, I was specifically looking for like Christian symbolism throughout, which was so much fun for me as an English major who likes to analyze text in that way. I actually plan on going through and tabbing all of the different references that I found. So great. I would love to read these to my kids as they get a little bit older. Next up, I have another middle grade series that does have a nostalgia factor for me. I have the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket. I bought these. I think I asked my mom to get me this box set for a birthday gift in like high school. That's how much I love them. I wanted them for my shelf because they're great. I re-listened to these a few years ago, 2 years ago now. Loved every minute of it. Even if you're an adult, they're enjoyable. They're funny, kind of sad. As a mom, as a parent now, I read these and it breaks my heart. But they're great. I love them. I would maybe not read these to my children anytime soon, maybe when they're a little bit older, like 8 or 9 maybe, but they're great. And like I say, they do have a little bit of a nostalgia factor for me. I remember reading these in like middle school as well, those formative years again, and watching the movie with my dad, and it's just, they're great. I love them. Next up, I have a series that I feel like maybe it's a little unfair for me to add to this video because I haven't technically finished it yet. But I don't care. I have The Scholomance by Naomi Novik. Naomi Novik is one of my favorite authors. I haven't read anything by her that I don't enjoy. I love her. I love her writing style. It's a lot different than anything I've read before. Not so much in these and some of her other books, but I'm reading The Golden Enclaves right now and really liking it. The second one has been my favorite so far. I'm still in the beginning of this one, like not even 100 pages into it. It's fantastic. It's another, I would consider it YA, young adult fantasy. Basically, the children in this world create what's called mana, which is their power that powers their magic, pretty much. They need mana to do magic. And so as a young wizard, as you're getting older and until you hit like 18 or something like that, you're producing a lot of mana, but you're not capable of controlling it. So the kids basically attract what are called Maleficaria. Mauls is what they're called in the book, which are basically just huge monsters that eat them and kill everybody. So to protect their children in this world, they send them to this Scholomance, which is a school that's kind of out in the void that the Mauls have a harder time getting to. So they're sent to the school for protection, but at the same time, while they're in the school, there's no contact with the outside world. They kind of don't know anything that's going on. They're kind of just shoved into this school and left to fend for themselves. It's fantastic. The ending, she leaves these books on such cliffhanger-esque endings that I pre-ordered this one after I finished the last Graduate. I pre-ordered the last one because it wrecked me. And I keep asking my husband, Ethan, please read these, at least listen to them on audiobook so I have somebody to talk to about them. They're some of my favorites. But I just want to say real quick, how annoying is this? How annoying is this? This came in the mail and I was like, why is it black? Why is it black? These are gold. I think they're beautiful. I love the little gold accents around the edges, and this one's black. Which, you know, as a front cover, it's fine because it's the Golden Enclaves and the cover is gold. But like up on my shelf, look at this. Look at how awkward that looks. I hate that. I'm so disappointed. Me. Focus on me. Okay. All right, last up. I have 2 rom-com series. I can't make a video here lately without mentioning rom-coms. So here we go. Oh, I have 3 series I need to talk about. 3 series, but they're all romances. All romance series. First up, I'm going to talk about The Love Clichés by Emma St. Clair. Again, if you're not new to my channel, you've heard me talk about her. She's one of my favorites. She's my favorite romantic comedy author. I love her. I haven't read anything by her that I don't love. I stayed up until 2 o'clock last night finishing one of her books. I love her. This one, The Love Clichés. Basically what it says, The Love Clichés. We have 5 of them, 5 main ones, 2 novellas. Are they in here? Actually, they probably are. I'm talking way too fast in this video because I'm excited for it because I really enjoy these books. And yeah, I can feel it. I'm having to stop and take some breaths. Yes, the love cliches. Falling for your best friend's twin. Falling for your boss. Falling for your fake fiance. The 12 Holidates, which is a novella but super cute. Falling for your best friend and falling for your enemy. There's also one more, Falling for Your Brother's Best Friend, which is another novella that I guess is a little newer and not included in this. That one is cute too. All of them are cute. All of them I love. Last night I finished Royally Rearranged, which is also going to be a series. The new one comes out in February, I believe. There's also the Graham Brothers series that she's writing. I've read the 2 of them, The Buy-In and The Bluff. Really, any series by Emma St. Clair could go on this list. I just have this one on my shelf. Enough scrambling about her. Next up, I have a series that I don't own any of the books, but I'm going to include them anyways. I have The Bromance Book Club by Lisa K. Adams. Excellent, hilarious. I love them as well. Romantic comedies. Emma St. Clair writes closed door rom-coms. I need to slow down a little bit. Meaning the romance is a little held back. You don't go into the bedroom. Lisa K. Adams are open door romances. So there is some spice level in these, but they're hilarious. Basically the premise, we have a group of guys, all kind of influential, wealthy men in Nashville, now that I think about it. But we have this group of guys who are either married or want a relationship, whatever. They get together and have a book club where they read romance books to learn how to romance their women. Hilarious concept to me, first of all. Hilarious execution. Love these. Go check them out. Last book I want to mention, last series I want to mention, which should be plenty enough because I'm at 22 minutes currently of recording. This will also not be a surprise to people who watch my channel, but I have The Matchmakers of Huckleberry Hill by Jennifer Beckstrand. I discovered Jennifer Beckstrand last year, and it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me in regards to my reading. I was in a rut where I was reading a lot of romances, specifically fantasy romances that were very spicy. And as a more modest person myself, I'm not a very overly sexual person or anything like that. I wanted to read something that was not like that. I wanted some clean romance. So I picked these up. They are Amish romances, so it's about as clean as you can get. They're lovely. They're hilarious. The humor is my favorite part in these. These specifically, the grandparents are matchmaking all of their grandchildren, and they make the series for me. I wish she would write another one. Oh, hold on. I have her new book that came out this year, The Petersham Brothers. This is book 3. It bugs me a little bit. We have, I think this one is supposed to be Andrew, but we have Abraham, something else, and Andrew, and I think they all start with an A. There are 3 brothers in this series, and each of the books starts with a name, so it's Andrew whatever, or it's Abraham. Oh, this is gonna bug me. Hold on. My camera's so close to dying too. I feel so flustered right now. I was right, it was Andrew. So we have Andrew, Abraham, and this one is supposed to be about Austin. But the first 2 books are actually named those things. So the first one is Andrew, and the second one is Abraham. This one is not called Austin. It's his Amish sweetheart. But it's the third one in the Petersham Brothers, which bothers me. That's besides the point. Same with Emma St. Clair. I've enjoyed both series by Jennifer Beckstrand, so either of these could go on this list. There's just more of Matchmakers of Huckleberry Hill, and I've read all of those, whereas I haven't read this one yet. I'm sure I'll still love it. The little brothers, there's 2 twin little brothers in the Petersham Brothers series that are what bring humor to her books in this one. Do I have anything else? I think that's it. A lot of books on this list, but these are some of my favorite series. I am predominantly a series person. I don't really read a whole lot of standalones, so it makes sense that a lot of my favorite books, a lot of my favorite reads are series. And here they are. I'm sure there are more. Honorable mention, From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout gets an honorable mention. If you like Sarah J. Maas, you'll probably like this author. I was so excited for this one. This one came out earlier this year, March maybe, and I did not love it as much as I wanted to. So that's why this one only gets an honorable mention and is not solidified on this list. But otherwise, the first 3, great. But only an honorable mention because I didn't like this one. I did a reading blog on it if you want to know why I didn't like it. Moving on. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe down below and leave a comment. Let me know what some of your favorite series are, if you like any of these series, and what other series I should check out. You guys are awesome. I'm so thankful for you. Sorry, I'm just in a good mood today. I'm so thankful for you. And we'll meet back here next time. See ya!